What is the dumbest life decision you've seen somebody makes? One of my closest friends in HS parents never let her keep a dime of Christmas money, birthday money, or money given to her on special occasions. They saved and invested it. She graduated HS with $250,000. A year into college she gets engaged and spends all of it on a Disney wedding. 3 years later, she gets divorced. My Swiss grandma had 8 kids, 4 boys and 4 girls, and refused to make a will. She gave each boy a house while she was alive and the girls got nothing. Those 4 houses was all she had. Now she passed away and the entire family, which was a very tight-knit group once, is practically at war with each other over the inheritance because she didn't make a will. He couldn't have known at the time, but my best friend mined 2,000 bitcoins in 09 or 10. He sold them for 10 cents a. He was really excited for the $200 too. I don't bring it up around him. It's a very sore topic. My twin brother, after finding out he was gonna be a dad, decided to take a break from working when he had only worked a total of 2 weeks in 3 years. He had 0 savings and 0 income when my niece was born and has fucked up every offer from family members to try and help him, whether it's a job or someplace to live. As a bonus, I watched my brother turn down a $27 an hour all training paid for welding job in the Midwest for a $9 an hour gas station job. I know there's no right way to live life, but there is definitely a wrong one. Having children in their teens when they can't even afford to support themselves. They have to play catch-up for the rest of their lives. Couples spending way too much going into debt for a ring and or expensive wedding. Starting a life together deep in debt. Having a baby thinking it will make a bad relationship into a good one. One of my friends from high school got a nice severance package from the company he was cut from. He took the whole lot and blindly invested it in crypto. He did 0 research and just went with what he had heard about. The money that could have covered him for most of a year was gone within the first 2 weeks. A dude I knew from work took out a personal loan for $8,000 to go have a baller night in Atlantic City a few years back. My mother, now deceased, got married 9 times. Watching a friend stay with an SO for years because she thought she could change him. You can't change people. The willpower for real change and personal growth has to come from within. People show you who they are through their actions, not their words. My ex-fiancée left because she wanted more adventure. Adventure turned out to be meth and crime. Last I heard, she was in a high-speed chase and fled the state after posting bail. I really dodged a bullet. Justine Sacco, a senior director of corporate communications, sent a tweet right before boarding a flight to South Africa. Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white. She was fired. My friend was having an one-night stand with his FWB. He took the condom off on the last minute and the girl also agreed. Then the girl ended up pregnant. They were freshmen at that time. They were so stressed about it, even thinking of getting married, until the girl told her parents and they agreed for her to have an abortion. I was much more aggressive when I was younger. Never an instigator, but sometimes I'd let situations go too far instead of de-escalating them. I was lucky I got away with it. These days whenever I talk to someone about this kind of stuff, I always say save the bravery for something important. Deliberately adding another child to the fam when the parents frequently squabble with each other. Snap at the child they already have. A friend had a good job in a competitive industry. Went to the bar with some very important clients. Got absolutely shit-faced and apparently said some very fucked up things. Woke up the next day not only unemployed, but basically blacklisted from the industry. Fortunately her husband had good job prospects overseas. So they moved and she is trying to start over. I know a woman in her 70s that never saved for retirement and spent her life building debt instead. After being forced to sell her home and file for bankruptcy, she decided she absolutely was not going to give up her football season tickets and Twilight conventions. She just moved in with her daughter because she can't afford to live on her own anymore. Her daughter just told me about her mom's bedroom being in creepy Edward shrine. She can't figure out where her mom found the money for all that stuff. But she comes home from work and her mom keeps adding more. Dude dumped a woman who never argued because he said the relationship wasn't exciting enough. Moved in with a woman with a kid. An abusive stalker ex who was in jail. Dude got her and now she treats him like shit. Beats him and spends months away from home without telling him where she is or when she's coming back. And he stays. I have a friend that left a good-paying government job to join a financial MLM firm. Now he can't work anywhere because this MLM firm is basically a scam and it put a 3-year hole in his CV. Easily my own decision to leave my job 24 years ago. It changed the trajectory of my life. For the worse. And not a day goes by when I don't kick myself in the ass for what I've done. All because of one insanely, outrageously stupid decision. I will never not beat myself up over it. My dumbass friend cashed out his entire 401k, penalty and all, to pay off his credit cards. He maxed them all out a week later. He was seriously stressing about his debt and is in exactly the same position he was but with no 401k money. A buddy of mine got married at 21 to the most unpleasant woman I've ever met. And moved to the middle of nowhere to be near a mega church. The last 15 years every time I see him he seems more frustrated and isolated. He has hobbies blatantly intended to get away from her, like increasingly long camping trips. She refuses to have kids after Jesus told her not to. And the decisions surrounding their lifestyle pushes friends away and leaves his career at a standstill. I knew someone that was so poor they'd buy an Xbox and immediately have to sell it. Then when the bills pass, they'd rebuy it only to sell it again in like a week because they can't afford bills again. They did this over and over. My biodad tried to tell the IRS in court that they had no jurisdiction over him. They laughed and reached into his bank account and took the money he owed. Dropping out of high school. 20 years later. They're struggling more and more every day. Another contributor is substance abuse, which was much more prevalent after the original decision to drop out. Now, they're suffering from mental illnesses, which is causing their child to suffer as well. Also, imparting substantial stress on the rest of their family. It might be good to note that this person was a straight-A student at the time and dropped out after 10th grade. Their decision set the course for the rest of their life, and they likely won't fully recover. I feel like we all have a friend that dropped every penny they had into their rap career or buying DJ equipment. I watched an older work friend get together with a woman who was clearly just after his money. Find out after he married her that she had $50,000 in credit card debt that she had hidden from him. And insist on helping her out with that insane debt load, to the detriment of his own retirement savings. Everyone but him could see she was just using him to get out of the hole she had dug herself with her expensive taste for all the money she spent. She managed to look pretty consistently trashy. I know he was divorced and lonely, but it was painful to watch him just take it when a walking red flag took advantage of him like that.